Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to do a quick scan through the markets just to see any key levels or trends forming for the next week. I'm unlikely to trade next week. I've got 2 days left on this month of the challenge with FTMO, and obviously by the time they've verified the account, given me new login details, it's unlikely I'll get them much before Friday, so I might just take the week off, but it's always good just to do the weekly review and just check what trends are coming up. So here we've got the economic calendar for the week. And always good to just look at anything that's red, just to see if there's going to be affecting currency pairs or the markets in general. So on Monday we can see we've got the Bank of England governor doing a speech. We could see again more monetary policies coming in the next sort of few months that could have an impact on GBP USD. Going down to Tuesday in Australia, we've got the governor speaking there as well on the banking. Wednesday we've got the Canadian dollar giving a interest rate announcement, expected to keep it again at 0.25%, so that's probably already factored into the price of the Canadian dollar, so I don't expect to see too much movement there. Going on to Thursday, a bit of Eurozone news coming out with the monetary policy statement. I think that could be the significant news this week, especially on the Euro USD. We could see a lot more negativity and especially a sell-off to the downside. And going into Friday, the Canadian unemployment figures. I don't often trade the CAD or the Loonie, so I'm not too worried about these figures coming out on Friday. So as always, starting with Forex, it's always good to get an idea of what's going to happen with the dollar index. We can see here that the dollar index itself has been strengthening over the past few weeks and actually now starting to hit this kind of resistance level. It hasn't broken up through on Friday, it just peaked above and then pulled back towards the end of the day. There could have been a non-farm payroll with lots of things going on in the currency pairs, but definitely be keeping an eye on this one to see if it does break out higher. We have almost like a double bottom forming here, so a break of this high recently and confirmed above that one, we could see the dollar index and also the dollar gaining a lot more strength over the next few weeks, which will have a knock-on effect to the majority of the currency pairs we're following. Dollar, that's seen another big week of selling off. There's a bit of consolidation middle of the week, but towards the end it's just sold off like crazy. And as we can see here, it's now broken through that previous support level of 1.195 and is now closed well below that. So we could see a lot more selling pressure coming all the way back down, potentially down to 1.7. There's still a lot of trouble in the Eurozone, especially with the vaccination rollout program and more countries going into more aggressive lockdowns, especially around Germany and France. The other countries rely heavily on tourism. If you look at Greece, Spain, Portugal, they're going to have no tourism industry for the foreseeable future. I think that's why they're trying to rush through all of the vaccine passports just to get people to book up and hopefully be able to get through into the summer season, maybe in through July, August time, and get a bit of money out of the tourists coming in. So especially for the Eurozone, I can see this devaluing over the next couple of weeks even more. So we can see here the British pound again falling off from the recent highs of 142, going back into the region of about 138. I think that was fairly predictable based on the huge bullish run it had up over the past couple of months, and as always things need to take a little bit of a breather before they can either continue the main direction or we see some reversal patterns coming in. If we zoom into the 4-hour chart, we can see previously there was a double top. It had a reversal pattern, price crashed all the way back down. It started to consolidate going sideways and again now broken back down through to the downward side. So it's clear on the 4-hour chart this is now starting into a downward trend, and obviously we'll be able to verify that on the lower time frames. So again on the 1-hour chart, as we see going back for a couple of weeks, lovely strong bullish uptrend, literally respecting the 50 moving average all the way up until it broke. And from that point down in, we saw a lot of sideways consolidation and now breaking down to the downside again. Because most of my trades now are looking at a much more of a shorter time frame, trying to get over within a couple of hours, then I would probably use the 1 hour as the major direction and look at the 15-minute as an entry. So just an example here on the 15-minute, we can see every time the price pulls back up into the moving average zone, it breaks down quite aggressively, and therefore for the beginning of the week, definitely some short opportunities coming on GBP USD. So the Dolly Yen's had another meteoric rise this week. I was definitely not predicting it goes this high. I was not predicting it to go this high. 107 was my kind of key level this week for it to be start to do a reversal. As we can see, it didn't stop at all and hit 108.30. This also just correlates to the main strength in the dollar itself. If we look at Dolly Yen on a 4-hour chart, we can see it's just in a beautiful uptrend. Every time it gets overextended from the 50 or the 20 moving average, it just pulls back into that range. So if we just draw a quick trend line in here, just to try and see roughly where it's going, it's never quite that accurate, but we can see it's likely to pull back into somewhere in the 106.80, 107 level, and then obviously from that point bounce and carry on back up. It's not a currency pair I'd normally trade, but definitely with it being such a nice trend, I'll be keeping an eye on this one over the next week or two. Gold has had another selling week. It wasn't what I was expecting. I really didn't think it would go this low. I was expecting a bit of a bounce previous to this one, but it just kept going down all week. As you can see now, it's starting to hit the bottom of this channel at around about the $1,700 mark, and there's kind of a bit of support here at 1678. So potentially in the beginning of this week, it could come all the way back down to that point. If it respects support and this channel line, then we could see that bounce back up to 1750 into the $1,800 range. So again, just looking at gold on the 1 hour chart, we can see from the beginning of the week where it sold off, it did have a bounce back up into 1750. But at that point in here, it's literally being sell off, recovery, and also it's making lower lows all the way down. So this is really a confirmed downtrend. What shows me that it might be slowing down is when it does make these new lows, it's consolidating sideways for quite a period before breaking down again, consolidating for quite a while. Now, if this doesn't break down through this support level, we could now start to see some reversals coming in as the buyers start to take control. On to indices now, just look at the FTSE. Now we can see here it's starting to really get squeezed. It hasn't got a clear direction where it wants to go. It literally is range bound between probably the 6,500, 6,800, and it's going on a very much of a sideways motion. I still think the overall direction of this one will be determined by the S&P 500, since that's the dominant index in the world. And if that's still in a bullish uptrend, we could see a breakout through these channels and price start to come back up to the 7,000 level. We would need to see a confirmed break of that previous high just to confirm we're back into an uptrend. Just going down to the 1 hour chart, we can see here it's just so sideways. The moving averages are really tightly packed, close together, going almost horizontally. Again, trading on the lower time frames, if I'm using the 1 hour as my direction, there is no direction. I cannot trade FTSE at the moment if I'm sticking to my rules. So again, looking at the S&P 500, still in a very bullish uptrend. Yes, it has sold off from the recent highs and started to get a bit more volatile. There's been a lot more news coming out over the past few days, especially with the non-farm payroll figures. But if you go into the 4 hour chart, we can see it's now really starting to look a bit more of a bearish momentum. We can see a lot more sellers coming in and price making lower lows and lower highs. Really need to see a break above 3,900 to confirm we're going to be back into an uptrend. Just want to finish on Bitcoin. It's just great to keep an eye on this one because you never know what's going to happen in this market. My prediction is that price is going very much range bound and constrained between the $45,000 and almost $52,000. I really want to see it sort of consolidate a little bit more over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then a breakout above the $50,000 or $52,000 mark could see it push back up to $80,000. Just going into the 4 hour chart, we can see that it has bounced off this week and come back up very, very slightly above that previous high, showing a bit more the buyer's momentum coming in. So again, I would like to see it come back up to $52,000 this week. At that level, it gives me a lot of confidence that we are looking for another push to the upside. Hope you've enjoyed this quick roundup of some of the currency pairs and indices and what the directions may be for the upcoming week. Comment down below if you want me to go into an in-depth analysis of any particular currency pair or indices. See you next week. Cheers.